Alright guys, we're up to number 3 in this power ranking series, so we're winding down. And at number 3, I've placed the Space Marines, which is a little shocking, even to myself, being mainly a Space Marine player. And here's why. When I first got into 40K, I was, more content to play Dark Angels out of the Dark Vengeance set. Then at the local game shop that really got me into 40K, they started a league, and one of my buddies, well, now buddies, I used to play 40K with, he said, hey, you want to try a different army? What's your playstyle like? Try Space Marines. So I did fairly well. And the particular army, the Imperial Fists, I've kind of been playing with ever since. Now, back in 6th edition, when they had their Codex update, which was about June of last year, 2013. No, 2014. I will get my dates right. They had a Codex update, which made them pretty good. And I was excited. And then, all of a sudden, with each Codex update, it seemed like they were getting weaker and weaker and weaker, to the point that, and this is probably what drove me to start my other armies, is I've got to do something different or I'm going to go insane, because even putting together good lists, Space Marines would still get destroyed. Because I was having hard times with Tau, Necrons, Orcs, even, against other, the named Space Marine chapters. Eldar. So all these armies had so many different ways to cancel out 3-up armor. It wasn't even funny. So then, about middle of last year, lo and behold, Space Marines get a new Codex. And it was this Codex, 7th edition Codex, that caught my attention. And while I haven't actually played much of it, I've played regular CADs, but the fact that they put formation in there was amazing. Some of the other things that you can now do with Space Marines. For example, you can have a squadron of 3s for Predators, Whirlwinds, Vindicators, and they have their own special rules. You have auxiliary formation. If you run the main formation, you can run auxiliary formations if you have the points. And a lot of those formations are awesome. They made you've got tweaks to the chapter tactics, which, being a Space Marine player, and especially when I read and saw the updates for Imperial Fists, I started salivating. Oh, it was good. And a lot of those updates, a lot of the rule changes for Space Marines have worked out very well. A couple times it's backfired, but they were planned. I've run a narrative campaign using the new Codex, not using the formation, but using the CADs. But there's something about the new Space Marine Codex that just gives me hope, gives me a reason to really play them now. Not that I didn't have a reason to play them before, because I've always been one, okay, your Codex, your army is better than mine? Well, I'll show you. Most of the time I would lose, but now I feel like Space Marines can have a chance. They are definitely a top 3 army. And if you guys don't agree, I mean, they have got to be a top 5 army. Now, with some of the recent Codex updates, it feels like Marines have slipped a little bit. But there's enough toys, there's enough goodies in this Codex that if you're having a particular struggle with an army, like Necrons, like Eldar, like Orcs, you've got plenty of options to really help you with those struggles, to really help you with those armies that you just are left scratching your head thinking, how in the world do I beat this army? And anytime you can leverage that kind of an advantage, and especially when you can use 3-up armor saves, 2-up armor saves, any kind of invuln saves, especially for Marines, you are really putting yourself in a very, very, very good position. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you're always going to win, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a chance to. The other thing that really makes Marines stand out is the fact that you can leverage the dice to your favor. And that's huge. When you can roll a good amount of dice and can actually do well, that's something to really, really enjoy. Especially when most of your units, most of your squads maybe roll an average of 1, maybe 2 dice, if you're lucky. So with Space Marines, you're looking at an update, an upgrade to an army that was slipping. But they've added so much juicy goodness to the Marines that how can you really go against them when you're a jack of all trades, master of none, which can be their downfall. But you know what? Even though you may have a 3-up armor, or 2-up armor, and you may be going up against an army that, for the most part, has a lot of weapons that can negate that 3-up armor save, don't be too terribly concerned. Because that's when you can use your vehicles. That's when you can use the terrain. Use the board to your advantage to get that cover save. Marines have got to be one of the most survivable armies out there. That's why I have them at number 3. So let me know. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Should they be in the top 2? Should they be in the top 5? Should they be a little lower? 2 more armies to go. If you've been keeping track, you probably have an idea of which 2 armies are left. The question is, who's going to be the number 1 army?